HHS, it's disappointing. I'm somebody who supports a lot of his mission, but he has real work to do at the HHS. We got, a lot of these diseases, a malaria outbreak in Texas. There's a lot of things we got to take care of. If the White House wants somebody to drop out of the race for whatever reason, they should be doing it because now something borderline, possibly illegal could have happened. I mean, if it is, well, I'm a supporter of his. We all got to toe the line, right? We got to be held responsible. But this is not where his focus should be. His focus should be, like I was saying, on those things. And that's why this video matters so much. This guy is supposed to be doing the real work right now at HHS and is now tangled up in campaign style politics. RFK, do what we love you doing. Do it, even a lot of people who don't agree with everything you do, there's always something they can find that they're like, okay, maybe that makes sense. Don't break that trust. Don't break that trust. People are already struggling to trust our institutions. Why get involved in something you have no business getting involved in? Not that I'm God or anything, but he can do real good there. The chronic disease, the food, he's working a lot on the dyes, big pharma, public trust, agency reform, which he's working on. So when this kind of call, it feels like he's being pulled into the machine instead of fighting it like he's supposed to. And that's what the whole issue is here. Not just what he said, but the fact that he should not even be in this lane right now. We've got serious problems going on. RFK's got hard work to do to help Americans. So let's get right to what actually happened that we know. RFK reportedly called Rick Stewart. Stewart is a libertarian in Iowa, and he was running for the Senate. He reportedly urged him to drop out. That's what the call is. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. We do have audio. He referenced an agreement, which is borderline illegal because that's quid pro quo. And he said he couldn't get into specifics because of legal prohibitions, which means he had an idea that he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing. He's not proven guilty, right? Everybody's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This is a terrible look for someone in his position. This is a terrible look for the White House. Republicans are already on the defensive for the midterms. And then you do something stupid like this. This was stupid. I'm sorry. I like the guy, but this was stupid. This was dumb. I don't care if people don't like that. I like the guy. I still like the guy, but this was a dumb use of his time. We've got bigger problems. If you want commentary that calls it straight, no matter whose side it is, subscribe, share, tell people below. Help me grow this channel. And instead of me over-explaining, let's listen in.
There may be something that you want to do in the federal government where you think maybe you can do more for people there than having a symbolic run. I don't want to be fighting subpoenas for the next 2 years instead of improving America's health. So for me, there's an immediate pragmatic reason for this phone call.
What? That right there is why people are raising eyebrows, and it's not because it proves every accusation that's kind of popped up online, because it sounds too close to the kind of political maneuvering we want our politicians to get away from. He should be avoiding because of his current position, and now he's getting sucked into it. These are the things why extremes are growing, because politicians make these stupid moves, right? We were hoping he was kind of going beyond that, but this was a stupid move. This screams political corruption to the public. Whether it is or is not, this is what it looks like. And this is why extremes come out. This is why you have things like the rise of democratic socialists. This is why you have things like that rose up before the Tea Party, because people see these things and they go, man, the guy that I really thought could make a difference did exactly what the other side was doing that I didn't like. We got to be honest. This looks bad. And this is where I think supporters need to be honest, right? We got to be honest with ourselves. I said that in my previous video. It doesn't matter who you are. We have to have a line that is drawn that does not get crossed no matter what. Like I said with Graham Plattner, I said with everybody, if they cross that line, we do not cross it. Like, it just shouldn't matter your party. We as Americans, we as a country, we should go, okay, if you're doing things like this, boom, that's the line we draw. I don't care if you're my favorite person. We draw a line. So, I'm not going to pass judgment till we know what's coming out. But I think RFK has done a lot of great. Don't completely agree with the vaccine situation. But this is how the machine pulls people in. This is how they get them off track. This is how they corrupt them. Both parties do these kinds of things and then point the finger at the other side. And then they go, how did extremes come about? Both parties hate third parties when it threatens the math. Everybody talks about democracy until another name on the ballot becomes inconvenient because it could steal, quote unquote, steal the election from you. He was supposed to be different than that. That was part of what he did when he ran for president. Like, he was supposed to be against these things. This is a very disappointing thing for him to do. RFK needs to be better than this. He's not stupid. I know he has the talk thing, but that's more of an issue that he's had. So why would you do this? And President Trump, why would you put him in this position? Even more than President Trump, why would your administration put him in this position? You've got to be better than that. You have to know that. This is why it lands harder with him than it probably would some other people. Maybe for me, right? I've been a supporter of his because I didn't trust what some things were saying. I have my own personal views on certain things, and I feel like he really, truly put things out there. And once he started exposing ingredients in some of the food, all of a sudden companies started backing out. Okay, hey, we're going to change this out because we can still make massive profits in overseas countries without all these chemicals. Why can't we do it here? He really, like, a lot of people talked about it for years and years and years. Guess what? He actually did something about it. And he told them, you can either do it voluntarily or I'll do it for you. They chose to do it voluntarily. The problem is not just the call. The problem is that it sounds too much like the same machine politics people trusted him and President Trump to fight. And the standard cannot just change because it's our guy. If a Democrat official did this, the right would go nuts. If a Republican adjacent figure does it, people suddenly want to lawyer to death. No, same standard, like I said earlier, across the board, period. We can support RFK and still say this was a terrible look. Guess what? Sometimes parallels do work like that in life, no matter how much we don't want them to. This is what actual independence looks like. This is what actual not being a tribal political person looks like. Being able to support someone and not agree with an action that they did. So here's where I land. You can still support his broader health mission. I still do. You can still think he can do real good at HHS, which I think he's going to. But he should not be involved in aspect of politics while holding this role. That's not what it's supposed to be. I know that this administration has crossed the line in some areas in people's eyes, but that doesn't change the fact of what happened and where he should be focused. If this is something legal that happened, the time will tell. If it did not, explain it, move on, provide all the facts, be open, be transparent. Either way, the focus should be on HHS. If he's going to lead HHS, then lead HHS. Let campaign people do campaign things. If we cannot call out something that is like this when it looks bad because it's our own guy, then we are not being independent. We're just playing the same crap game and the same bullshit game that they all want us to play. No, we are not going to be extreme about it. We are going to push this and we are going to go, okay, we want transparency even if it's our guy, period. Well, let me know what y'all think. Put in the comments below.